Hey everyone, I'm C2 and this is going to be my review on House's finale. I just want to say that I've always been a huge fan of House, and I love how every episode was like a puzzle and it all came together in the end. But I really have to say, House's season finale, it just the concept was really good. Like the idea of House faking his death to be able to spend it with Wilson was genius. But I felt that how they executed it was just kind of stupid. I mean, here's what I mean. In the episode, it never really explained how House got into that burning building. I mean, the episode started off like a Saw movie. Like, you have that one guy waking up from unconsciousness, there's a dead body, the house is on fire. It was like a Saw movie. I was expecting Jigsaw to just appear right up on a TV screen nearby. I mean, why was House there? I mean, yes, I know he was high on heroin, he was out of his mind or whatever, but it just seemed kind of out of character for House to be in that situation in the first place, because House has always been like, whenever he did hard drugs, he always did them alone, by himself, in the confines of his own home, on usually the bathroom floor. But why was he there? Why was he with that guy? And just the setting itself had so many questions that were never answered. I mean, how did that guy die? I guess, yes, drug overdose, obvious. But really, why did he even need to die? I mean, they didn't dwell on it very much. I mean, they did make an offhand comment about it, but they didn't focus on him at all. I mean, so what was the point of killing him off? I mean, the flashback showed he was okay. They found the cure for him. I mean, did House go visit him and say, and that guy say, thank you, doctor, for curing me. You want to go do some heroin in this abandoned factory that potentially catches on fire very easily? Sure, let's go. That's stupid. Stupid. I mean, there was no point of killing him. I guess to use him as like a body double for House to switch the records to fake his death, but that would suggest that House preemptively planned for this guy to die. And how the episode flowed, he didn't really plan that whole situation with the burning building. I mean, God, I hope not, because that would just make him a murderer. But I just don't get why he was in that stupid building. And why was it on fire? What caused the fire? Did House cause the fire? It's never explained. I mean, I just don't get it. It's alright. But enough about the setting. Another point that really bugged me was the whole how did House survive? How did House get out of that situation? I mean, think about this. House was on heroin, probably taking close to a lethal dose, considering the guy next to him was dead and had been an addict of it. He fell through the floor of a building, at least one floor. He had been breathing in smoke and surrounded by flames for a good 30 minutes. And when he reached the front door, he was right by when that thing exploded. And House, he's a cripple. How the hell did he get away from it fast enough of? It's impossible. He couldn't have gotten away from it. And the firemen were blown back and they were several feet away. I mean, it doesn't make sense that House came out of that completely unscathed, because the next time you see him with Wilson, when he finds out he's still alive, he was perfectly fine. No burns, no problems of smoke inhalation, no broken bones. I mean, how? It doesn't make sense. Which leads me to think that it's possible that House didn't really survive. I mean, here, just think about this for a minute. With all those things that House survived through unscathed, add the fact that the only person that ever saw him alive was Wilson after everything that happened. I mean, yes, Foreman found his card underneath his table, but House could have done that at any point of time between when House mentioned it to the point of his death. And how would he have been able to even sneak back into the hospital to put it there? I mean, if he's dead, someone's obviously got to be going like, if they see him try and sneak by. And it's not like he can sneak by very quickly, too, since he needs a cane and all. I mean, how did he do all those things? Switching the medical records, planting the cell phone. He's not freaking Houdini. I mean, yes, House has done some clever things, but to plant all that in a last minute, no, he couldn't have done that. Which really makes me think, did House die? I mean, Wilson was the only one that saw him after the accident, and we've seen that people come back as their full body when House ever had hallucinations of people that have died. Why couldn't Wilson also have the same thing after watching his best friend die in a burst of flames and destruction? I mean, I really think it's possible that House actually did die, and everything we saw was just a mental illusion by Wilson. I mean, if someone else had also seen House, then that theory would probably not be valid. But from what it stands, it seems like House might have not lived. It's just my opinion, it's not fact, but it just, because the whole puzzle is not fitting together with the details really being explained between after House cured that guy and how he got into that burning building, because that's not ever explained, I feel like there's just this big hole in the whole plot that makes the puzzle not fit. The puzzle's incomplete. And that's not what House has been about. It just kind of felt disappointing because of that. I mean, everything has always fit together so nicely. But then they go and do this finale and they leave pieces of it out. Maybe from a constraint of time, possibly. I hope maybe when the DVDs come out that they will have deleted footage that maybe explains better what went on. Also, my one last complaint, that Cuddy wasn't at the funeral. It's stupid. Yes, your contract was not valid anymore and they couldn't afford you, but you were on that show for so damn long. You couldn't just take the effort to make one freaking cameo for the very last episode? It just pissed me off. I mean, it just felt so out of character for Cuddy, who had loved House for years, and all the things that happened between them, she wouldn't show up for his funeral. That's so out of character and so cheap. Maybe if they'd spent less on the damn pyro works, maybe they could have afforded her for the last episode. Anyways, I'm C2. This is my review for House's finale. Hope you like it. Say what you think. Later.